Okay, today we're gonna talk about would and used to. I talked about would and used to in my open of the show. I talked about how I used to ride the bus and I would have to wait if I missed the bus. Would is another way to talk about the past. Let's take a look a little more closely. You've probably learned, it's basic like intermediate level stuff to talk about and learn and use used to describe your past habits, actions, and states. I used to ride the bus to work. I used to live in the United States, but I don't anymore. Normally used to implies that you don't do that action anymore. It doesn't have to. I used to like broccoli, and I still do. So, but typically if you just have I used to, it implies that you don't do it anymore. Would also talks about past habits. I used to bite my nails. That's a bad habit. I used to wake up and watch wrestling every Saturday morning when I was a kid. I used to. That's a past habit. Every Saturday morning I would wake up and watch wrestling on Saturday mornings. That's would. Every Saturday morning I would wake up and eat a bowl of cereal and I would watch wrestling starting at 9 o'clock. I would do that. That's a past habit and a past action that I used to do. The states, that's more used with used to. The states are more used with used to. So state verbs like, love, want, things that you're not doing. Things that you're not doing an action to. Oh yeah, well, love's an action word. Yeah, I know. But this is English. So state verbs are mostly used with used to. And if you've studied used to and would in an academy or in your school, your teacher probably told you, or if you've looked in a grammar book, your teacher probably told you, or the grammar book probably told you that used to is used for state verbs and would not used for state verbs. That's not exactly true because it depends. Like much of English, like much of language in general, it depends on context. Context is king. Context is king. So the more important thing to learn about used to and would is used to is talking about general things in the past. And would, you're talking about the details. So if you're talking about something you used to do, let's take a big category. Something you used to do. I used to do jiu-jitsu, train jiu-jitsu. I'm going to start again, but I used to train jiu-jitsu. That's in the past. I used to do that. I used to train jiu-jitsu. When I arrived at jiu-jitsu practice, I would goes in the used to. That's the details. I would change and then I would stretch. And then we would start class and we would start to roll. So after we started to roll and did the warm-ups, we learned a technique and then we would spar. And we would do some, well, it's called sparring. It's like loose fighting, right? With your teammate, so train. But I used to do this. While I was there, I would do this action, I would do this, I would do that, I would do this, right? So that's the main difference of how we use used to and would. Used to is usually used for the big categories. Would is usually used for the details within that category. Let's look at another example. When I was younger, I used to go to the country, go into the woods and go camping with my family. When we were camping, we would go fishing, we would climb trees, we would dig for things, we would do all these things. Okay? So, this is used to and would. This is the key difference. Yeah, they're both used for the same thing. Used to is used for state verbs a little more than would. Like you wouldn't say, I would live in this house when I was a kid. No. I used to live. I used to be. Normally to be verbs, the to be is used with used to. But if it's within the story, you can use would too. So for example, I used to like Shannon when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, I would like many different girls. You can use would with state verbs, but they have to be in the details of the story. All right, let's go to your assignment. I'm going to give you your assignment so you can practice this week. And you're going to do pretty much what I just did. I want you to think about something that you used to do when you were younger. And I want you to think about it. I want you to think about one specific thing, one specific activity that you used to do when you were younger. What did you used to do? This means the general thing. And what would you do during that time? So I used to be in the rodeo. And when I was in the rodeo, I would get all of my gear ready. I would arrive early. I would get my rope on my bull when it came in the chute. I would tie my rope on my bull. I would get on top of the bull when it was my turn to go, and then when it was time to leave, I would nod my head and we would start the ride. Normally I would fall off too. I would always fall off because I wasn't very good. So this is your assignment. Tell me about something that you did when you were younger, and tell me what you would do while that was happening, while you were doing that. So that's your assignment, and I hope you learned something new. Used to, would, they're very natural expressions. Very natural, and it will really boost your fluency. Boost means raise and improve or increase a lot in a short time. Using these effectively and practicing them, like with your assignment, will really help boost your fluency. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.